Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My presentation is titled Collaborative Marketing, Allowing Others to Promote Your Business. And when I talk about others, hopefully what I'm going to do is show you some initiatives where we've used not just other businesses, but also the practice staff, so that they can promote our business. Now, we've heard the theory from Paul, and we've heard all about digital marketing from Paul Clare. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about real initiatives that we've introduced in our business. Things that we've actually done over the last 10 years with the company that I run. I'm going to cover a little bit about Yorkshire Eyewear and why Paul invited me to come along this evening and talk to you, and why he felt that I was appropriate to discuss what we do. I'm going to talk to you about my experiences of networking groups and what we found does and doesn't work. About suppliers and how we've used suppliers over the years to help promote our business and get them to promote our business for us. A little bit on social media. And I emphasize a little bit because this is not a social media workshop. I'm not going to teach you how to use social media because I wouldn't start to think that I could. But I'm going to show you just a few examples of how we use social media. How we use site care and what site care can do. And a little bit elaboration on what Paul said earlier. And finally, the last two cover how we use local traders and businesses, and then something a little bit left field on enhancing your brand, a little idea that we came up with about 12 months ago. So Yorkshire Eyewear, as you may have guessed, we're in Yorkshire. 10 years ago, we bought a practice in Goole. It was originally called Michael James Opticians, and then as we decided to expand, we thought we'd better change the name to something more appropriate for us. Yorkshire Eyewear, Yorkshire people are very proud of their county, and so that was a great name. We then bought a practice in Snaith 4 years ago, and then last November we opened up a brand new practice from scratch in a market town called Howden. Those three practices are all about 8 miles apart. And then finally in February of this year we opened our fourth practice, which again is a brand new practice in Knaresborough, which is in North Yorkshire, which is where we live. So we then had 4 practices. They were all in different types of towns with different marketing demands. So we had to think about collaborating our marketing. And so some of the stuff that we'd done previously, we felt that's not appropriate. So now what we try and do is put it all together so that it is appropriate for all 4 practices. So networking groups. If anybody Googles networking groups, as I did in the UK, you get 58 million hits. In London alone, you get 42 million hits. In East Yorkshire, where the 3 practices of ours are, you get 1.8 million hits. If you look at Crawley, 138,000 just in Crawley. How do you decide which ones to try? Which is the best one for you? Which is the best one for a business like Opticians? These are just some of the networking groups that exist, and there are very, very few. And I've tried 1 or 2. Things like BNI. BNI works if you're going to be committed. You're going to turn up every single week and you're going to do a 1-minute presentation and every so often a 10-minute presentation, but you have to be there every single week. And if you do that, after about 6 months, you'll start to see a return on your investment. After 2 years, you'll see a very good return on your investment. But you have to be there all the time. Some of the others are less formal, they're less strict. And then things like Alternative Board and Vistage, they're aimed more at the directors. They're going to help you work out problems with the business. But they're all about networking. What I found works, and what's much better, is if you try and join local networking groups. And so if you try and join groups where the people that attend are all from the local area that your practice is in. The one that worked best for me, and I still do now, is Chamber of Commerce. We have a Goole Chamber of Commerce. And it takes 2 hours, every 3 months, they have a meeting. They talk about trade, they talk about the town, they talk about 1 or 2 wider ranging issues, but not often. 90% of the people wearing glasses around that table are now wearing our glasses. And I've never once promoted and said you should come to me. On the back of the Chamber of Commerce, I got invited to sit on the Goole Renaissance Board. The Renaissance Board talk about the development of the town. 90% of the people on that board are wearing my glasses. But also, I'm now showing an interest in what's happening in the town. And on the back of that, I then got invited to get involved in the business awards. And so we became a lead sponsor of the business awards. So just through Chamber of Commerce, it doesn't take a lot of time, and it takes no time during practice time. Rotary clubs and Lions clubs, I'm sure many of you have heard of them, some of you may be members. A lot of them focus on raising money for charities. And because they're weekly organisations and they meet regularly, it's about building relationships. They're very good for building relationships. You're not there to sell your business, you're there to sell you. People understand why you are the person to come to see. Trade associations. In the 4 towns that we've got practices, we are actively involved in the trade associations because the people then realise that we're interested in more than just the practice, but in the whole town. If the town thrives, the practice thrives. And whether it's a town or a village or a street, most of them have trade associations and they will have meetings. And if you get involved and people see that you're involved, then they know that you're interested in the future of the town. The other great thing about that is that the paper often find out that you're involved in the trade association or in the Chamber of Commerce. And when things happen in the town, they often will look at you and ask you for a quote. I often get rung up by the Ghoul Times asking for my views on whatever happens. Now, of course, you can be straight down the middle and not give a real opinion. But it then says, Garrey Haase of Yorkshire Eyewear said. And it's in the paper. So people see it and they see that you're actively involved. One other way that our staff get involved is through ladies' networking groups. When I ask my staff, would you go to the Chamber of Commerce? Will you go to the trade associations? Most of them said, I'd rather not. It's not my thing. Ask them to go to a ladies' networking group and they will go. And our staff regularly attend 2 different ladies' networking groups and promote the business. But they're only promoting the business by turning up and attending because they know people there and people know who they work for. And it works really well. So our suppliers. Most of us will be using suppliers, and throughout this year they'll have done lens promotions. But how many of you know that your supplier, most of the suppliers have a marketing budget specifically for you and your practice based on your spend with them? And not only will they have a marketing budget, but they will have a marketing department who will help you formulate a campaign, and they will then produce the brochures, the leaflets, whatever it is you want, promote it on your Facebook pages, on your websites, and they will help you promote that, and it's all paid for through the money that you spend with them. And all the lens companies that I've dealt with have got these budgets for us, so use them. The frame companies and the lens companies are delighted to do open days for you. We're currently celebrating 10 years, so we decided to have 2 months of what we called frame festivals. We invited reps from the different frame companies to come along to the different practices and show their entire collection of frames at the practice. We asked the lens companies if they would send a representative on those days so that they could then talk to the customers about the lenses. And of course the customers love it because this is the expert in that brand of lens. They love it. So we did these open days. Now when we used to do them in the past, we said, come along, see the entire range, buy a pair of glasses, and we'll give you 20% off. And that was always the temptation. We'll give you 20% off. If you buy on that day, we'll give you 20% off. And then we thought about it and we said, why are we giving away 20%? Why are we doing that? Because people will actually be very happy to come along and see the entire range and buy glasses. And in conjunction with the lens companies and the promotion that we're running at the moment, and with talking to the frame companies, what we're now doing is buy 1 pair, get a 2nd pair half price. And we're not eroding our margins at all because, of course, we're getting the same deal from the manufacturers. The customers still love it. We ask them all for promotional bags, similar to the ones that we've got here this evening. You then ask other companies if they've got things that they would put in the promotional bags. And on the open days, we give everybody a promotional bag. We also make sure we include our own promotional literature in there. And prizes for raffles and charity days. We've asked them, we're doing the culmination of our 10-year anniversary is on the 5th of December, we're going to have a big celebration. We've agreed that we're going to do a raffle, so everybody who buys a pair of glasses from the beginning of October to the 5th of December will be put in the raffle. We asked the suppliers for prizes. So you get the normal frame, sunglasses, lenses, but then we've ended up with scarves, boxes of chocolates, cameras, all sorts of weird and wonderful things that you wouldn't necessarily associate with suppliers. And of course, it's not just the same old, same old. And then we're going out into the town and we're asking other traders within the town if they would like to contribute as well. So social media. I'm going to say now, I don't do our social media. And in the other presentations, especially in the north, Karen, my wife, has been along and she's talked about our social media because she coordinates our social media. But we do actively use Facebook to promote the business because more and more people now are using Facebook to find out what's going on in the world and to communicate with each other. Before we talk about how we actually use Facebook, here's a few facts and figures. It actively has 1.4 billion users. 936 million people use Facebook on a daily average. On the 24th of August, 1 in 7 people in the planet used Facebook on that day. And the average user has over 200 friends. Facebook is a mini free website for customer interaction. It's great for a highly targeted brand awareness platform, and it's fantastic for letting people know what you're doing and keeping in touch. It is not a selling tool, and Facebook do frown upon it if you actually try and actively sell on Facebook as a business. It's easily managed with preparation. So we have a team of 3 people that do our Facebook. They constantly communicate with each other, and then they arrange to post articles on Facebook. And they do it in advance, and they send it in advance to go out throughout the week. And then they'll complement that with 1 or 2 additional posts. So it can all be done quite easily in a short space of time where you focus, that's our Facebook time, we're going to organise this. And they have regular meetings to do it. You can share other people's posts, so you don't have to always come up with the original post yourself. We share lots of posts from SiteCare. We share lots of posts from other organisations like Abdo, iCare, Fax, and other posts. When you're sharing other people's posts, just be careful because some of them are sponsored by other companies. And so you could be sharing a post that's then, when you click into it, it's then sponsored by one of the multiples. So be careful with that and just make sure you look at what you're sharing before you do. And the final thing that we do is we can boost posts. And I'm going to show you a very quick example in a minute of how we boosted a post and what that means. Now, as opticians, we're in a very unique position. Because when we use Facebook, we can talk about so many different things and so many different aspects of our job. Whether it's about eye examinations, about general health, about diabetes, about fashion. There's lots of different areas that we can talk about when we use Facebook. At Yorkshire Eyewear, we do 3 different types of posts and we categorise them. The first type of post we do is what we call our informative, educational, factual posts. So this is an example of one where we're doing Eye Health Week and we're talking about the 7 myths of eye health. This is one where we've taken the witch research and the fact that most people found independents were the place to go and tagged on the bottom of it the SiteCare promotion to win a National Trust membership. Community Opticians Week. So again, we've just taken that from SiteCares and reposted it. They're all factual, they're all informative. UV protection, we've taken that from one of the suppliers' Facebook pages, and we've shared that, talking about UV protection. So it's just informing people that they should protect their eyes. And the last one on this is the SiteCare one on children's eye care and the importance of eye health for children. Very simple post, very informative. But what we then do is, the second type of post that we do is talking about Yorkshire Eyewear and what we are doing as a company. So we took a photograph of the lens promotion that we were doing, we posted it on Facebook. It's a very easy way to promote that we're doing this promotion over the period of time. We did the Macmillan Coffee Morning, as many other people did. And so we shared it on Facebook. We created an event for this. And what that means is that everybody that has liked our Facebook page got an invite to our Macmillan Coffee Morning. So it then came up on their Facebook, on their phones, that they were invited to an event. And then they would see what that event was. We also used it because in this instance, one of our local traders couldn't make the event. So they said, really sorry, I can't make the event, but we've baked some brownies. What we then did was we said thank you to them, and we included their name in it. And you can just about see the name there, Stomp. That then highlighted that we had included them in our post. They then saw that and posted it on their Facebook page. They are a children's clothing and footwear company, and they've got a lot more followers than we have. And of course, all those followers are parents of children, and so they saw our post. Very simple, very effective way of spreading the word. I got involved in, we call it the health bus around East Riding, and they asked me to do an hour and a half on the bus talking about eyes. Did that. One of the staff I didn't know came out. It was actually parked outside the practice, so it made it easy. One of the staff came along, took a photograph, posted it straight onto Facebook. If you want any advice on eye health, Garrey's on the health bus now in the precinct. Come along and have a chat. So you're getting real-time, real-live events on Facebook. You can do that easily. And the other thing that we do in terms of when we're doing things is we get involved in the community and what the community is doing. So this was Gould Beach Day last year. We decided to get one of these cardboard cutouts from like you get at the seaside, invite children and adults, come along, have your photograph taken, let us put it on our Facebook page, then you go onto the Facebook page and you like it and share it. Right? And every time we do this, we get lots more likes for our Facebook page. They like and share the post, but they also like and share the Facebook page, so it increases our traffic. We also included it on our Twitter feed, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then whenever we're in the newspapers or in the optical magazines, we always put it on Facebook. We take a photograph and we put it on Facebook. It tells our customers that we're being proactive within the community and also within the optical industry. The third type of post that we put on are what I call humorous. And we feel it's always good to make people smile. So a Facebook post boost, sorry. We put this post on, back to school, children's eyewear. 400 people saw it, it was on their timeline. 6 people had shared it. We then paid for a boost. And what that meant was that we said to Facebook, we want you to target people who have looked for specific words within a 25-mile radius of our practices. And we're going to spend £25, no more. And we picked things like eye examinations, children, back to school, children's eyewear, and we just picked half a dozen keywords. Within 30 hours, that 400 had turned into 2,500. By the end of the campaign and the £25, which took about 5 days in total, it had gone on to 5,500 people's timeline. And interestingly, 80 people had done something with that. They'd either shared it, liked it, or made a comment on it. And that was for £25 over a short period of time over a specific thing that we wanted to promote. What was very interesting is that 94% of those people looked at that Facebook post on a digital mobile device. So that's where the future is. It's a mobile device.
How many of those people actually transferred into patients?
I was asked that last night, and the difficulty is that we can't measure that exact, although we do ask every patient who comes in whether or not, how they heard about us. So the difficulty is knowing exactly how many of those patients transferred into patients. But of course, if they're liking our Facebook page, because again, it increased the volume of people that like the Facebook page, they're going to see that constant drip. And Facebook is not, it's just one of many channels, but it's something that you have to do, we feel we have to do on a regular basis. And we have got lots of patients from Facebook because they've contacted us directly through Facebook. But I can't answer that exact question, and that's an honest answer. So Twitter. I'm sure we all use Twitter. My wife loves Twitter. She's never off it, or so it seems. Twitter is all about now. It's all about in the moment. Unlike Facebook, Twitter, it's very difficult for you to find a previous post. You have to know what you're doing, and you have to be able to work out how to find it. So Twitter is about now. Twitter works on the basis of hashtags. So a hashtag is a subject. So for example, hashtag match of the day, you then put that MOTD in, people are commenting about match of the day, and you can then make your comment on match of the day and about a football match. It would be the same in any other subject. Lots of television programs now have hashtags and they want people to comment whilst they're on. So obviously things like Strictly Come Dancing, X Factor, those types of programs, they love this type of thing because it tells them who's engaging in the program. It's all about numbers. It's about getting people to follow you and you follow people. You can have up to 2,000, you can follow up to 2,000 people, and then once you get to that limit, it then becomes proportional to the two factors of who's following you and how many you can follow. It's about getting people to retweet your messages. I have a friend who's got 35,000 followers. He's built it up and he's got 35,000 followers. He actively, regularly retweets our messages. And it doesn't take many of those to see it to get our name across. Okay? When you're doing Twitter, our advice is don't just follow opticians. Follow other local businesses. I don't say don't follow opticians because it's good to know what they're doing sometimes. You also can pick up things from them. I follow one optician in London, which I often retweet and share his posts on SiteCare because he's not going to affect me, but of course he's often got very good posts and very good ideas, and because I'm in Yorkshire 200 miles away, it really is not going to make a huge difference. But follow local businesses. And the final thing that we do is we look for local Twitter hours. So we have a Yorkshire hour, we have a Brand Yorkshire hour, we have an East Yorkshire hour, and they all tend to be at roughly the same time, sort of either 7 till 8 or 8 till 9 on an evening. And my wife will sit down with a glass of wine and she'll go onto Twitter and she'll do the hashtag, and then she then gets involved in conversations. And she's promoting our business and promoting other businesses local to us. And again, it just works because they're working together with each other. So these are a couple of brief posts. This one was about the Tour de France, which of course in Yorkshire it started last year, so of course they couldn't have Tour de France. They had Tour de Yorkshire because they're Yorkshire people. And we then retweeted it, we used a hashtag. We also got involved, we know very well one of the local regional magazine presenters on the television, a guy called Harry Gratian. So we tagged him in on it and he retweeted it, and of course he's got thousands of followers. Optrafair, they did in the fashion section of Optrafair, they did this hashtag Optrafair, and to win, share your Optrafair photo and tag in Optrafair. This is our daughter posing with one of the models wearing a pair of sunglasses. Great way to promote the business. It was also great for our customers, and this next one, sorry, we also got one this note, but we had one of 100% optical, because it shows our customers that we're being up to date and going to these trade fairs so that we're keeping up to date with technology and with fashion. This was the Macmillan Coffee Morning. So we've tagged in Macmillan, they've retweeted it. The Goole Beach Day. And Goole Beach Day this year, we did the same as we did last year, but it happened to be Yorkshire Day, because they're that proud up there, they have their own day. They have Yorkshire Day. But they've got a hashtag, hashtag Yorkshire Day. We created our own hashtag, hashtag Yorkshire Eyewear. And of course there was one for Goole Beach Day. So by including all of these hashtags, we're then involving more and more people. So anybody that looked at hashtag Yorkshire Day was seeing our posts as well. And then, like Facebook, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to come up with original ideas. You can retweet other tweets that have been put on by other people. So this one obviously is done by SiteCare. One other way that we use social media was to meet people. And we then, through social media, we met a photographer. And the photographer said to my wife, "How do you fancy doing a photo shoot?" And they talked and they said, well, we'll get a makeup artist, we'll get a hairdresser, we'll get a florist, we'll get ladies outfitters, we'll get a venue, we'll then get some models, and we'll put the whole thing together. And nobody will pay anything for anything. And they all did this. And then one Sunday morning, they got together at this hall in York and they put together this photo shoot. And these are the results of the photo shoot. And we got some very, very good, over 100 very, very good high quality photographs that we own the rights to with all those other people. So we can use it on our promotional literature. We can use it on our website. We can use it in the practice. And if you come into our practice, you'll see we've got a frame display with that photograph on the display. Now, that would cost an awful lot of money to put together. But also, all those other people that were involved, whenever they put it on their media, social media of any description, they give credit to everybody else, as we do to them. So they're all promoting, and of course they're all local. It wasn't a London photographer, you know, and a Brighton florist. They're all local to the area. And they were all delighted to do it because they're all young businesses working together. And of course we're promoting each other and promoting the area. So social media doesn't just have to be about promoting yourself. You can think about different ways of meeting people and letting them promote the business. Site care. I think site care is wonderful. I'm a real passionate man about site care. But site care can help us with our businesses. They've got a marketing pack. It's on the website. It's been there for a couple of years. It's got lots of information on how to market your practice in lots of different areas. And there are sections on social media as well. They run a PR campaign where they will give you a press release, and within that press release there's a gap for you to put your practice name in. The papers love that because it's professionally written. And I don't know, I'm not a writer, I'm an optometrist. So I use those and I send them to the paper, and I get a lot of them put in the paper because they're professionally written. Paul will help you copyright. So if you've got an event, a promotion, or something that you want to say to the community, Paul will help you by copywriting it. And Paul's got a lot of experience. If Paul's not available, Andrew will help you. They're both, that's what they do. They can do that for you. Dialogue. Dialogue's fantastic. I think dialogue is the best resource that SiteCare has on a day-to-day basis because you can get so much information on dialogue. We were talking about it earlier, some of the things that go on dialogue, but not only for the practice owners. All my staff have access to dialogue because then if they want to know something, I often say to them, don't ask me, put it on dialogue. You'll get a much better answer from the hundreds of members of SiteCare who are far more knowledgeable than I am. And of course we have these networking events, conference and regional meetings, and you're all here this evening, which is testament to the fact that you think that these work. So what do all these companies have in common? It's a bit of a rhetorical question, but they're all successful. They've all got massive businesses. But they all use other companies to promote their businesses in one way or another. So when I go into my local home base, they've now got an Argos in there. They've got a Sharp's Bedroom in there. They've got a Habitat in there. Universal, everywhere you go at Universal in Florida, there's a Costa Coffee. There's Hard Rock Cafe. They all use other businesses to help promote their businesses. So do we use our local traders and other businesses to promote our business? Well, at Yorkshire Eyewear, we do. And we do it in several different ways. We ask local businesses if they will give us their products for us to be able to use in our window displays. And the relevant window displays, we will use material, and I'll show you some examples in a minute. We ask them to come along to our open days, our open evenings, to bring some of their products and then invite their customers, their family and their friends to our practice. We do the same with charity days. We ask them to get involved when we're doing a charity day, whatever it is, whether it's Macmillan or something specific to the practice. We form local trade associations, I've already mentioned that, and how we use them because it shows you're interested in the town. And then a couple of other ways that we've done things with local traders. One was we ran a competition for children to design Santurney specs. So it was draw a photograph of Santurney specs. And we wanted to give away a bike as the prize. So I went to the local bike shop and I said, will you donate a bike as a prize for this and actually give us the bike? And he went, are you mad? And I went, no. And he said, no, you are mad. I won't give you a bike. I said, well, okay, sell me a bike for trade. And he said, now you're talking. But what am I going to get for it? I said, well, what you'll get is we will include you in all the publicity and all the promotional work that we do for this. And we produce a leaflet. We'd already arranged with the schools that they were going to put these competition entry forms in the school packs. And we produced about 3,500 entry forms and delivered them to the school, and they went into the little packs that they send out with the children. But the company that donated the bike, they were included in all that promotional literature. And then they had the promotional literature and the competition forms in their business. So that people that went in to buy a bike, and of course lots of parents go in around Christmas time to buy bikes as presents for the children, they were given the forms and said, here, why don't you get your child to enter this? When we did the awards, we included the bike company in there. They were delighted. They got lots of great PR, but they didn't cost them anything. And we got a really good deal. So instead of paying retail or anything like that for the bikes, we paid trade. And we actually ended up giving away 2 bikes because of it. So again, just thinking a little bit outside the box. Windows. So this was a Valentine's window that we did. It's all about loving your glasses, about having sexy eyes. We got the local underwear company. There's a Basque there and a black bra there. Really popular window. Lots of people stopped and looked at it. But it's about maybe thinking about a theme. Children's clothing. This lady manufactures her own children's clothing. She's a new business. She's trying to promote her business. We said, why don't you put the clothing in our window? We'll then have your cards in the practice. People come in. She then promoted the fact that she was showing some of her clothing in our window, and so people came to the practice to look and see what was available. Local cake company, the same principle. She promoted it. She even made us a cake with glasses on, so that we've then still got that in the practice, and we still have that there. And of course, the lady that works in this particular practice, anybody that comes in doesn't go out without booking an appointment. She's that good, but she knows that they're going to come in asking about these products. Charity days. This was a charity day. It was a pamper day for RNIB. We invited 4 other people. The lady on the right is my wife, Karen. And then we invited these 4 ladies and we said, come along, do a pamper day for us. We'll raise money for charity. You can sell some of your products if you want, or your services. And bring your friends, bring your family. It all took place in the practice. The local press turned up and did a feature on it. When we did the Macmillan Day, we had 3 other businesses come and show their products in the practice and invite their friends. And of course, they came along as well. And of course, the press came along because there was more than just your traditional Macmillan, which everybody does. So we had 3 other businesses in there doing that with us. And finally, enhancing your brand. Now, Paul will tell you, and those of you at the conference, I think it was 2 years ago, will have heard a presentation on about doing local group visits and getting out of the practice and visiting local groups. And we've been doing this for years, and I'm sure many of you do these sort of things. And we do school visits, and school visits are fantastic, where you go along and you talk to the children and you talk about the eye examination, a little bit about eye health, and then you take your trial lenses and you take your ophthalmoscope and you take some magnifiers and you take some frames and you split them into groups and you say, play with this. And they love it. And then you give them a promotional bag that's got information about eye examinations and about what we've done and about our company in the bag, and they take that home, and there's usually a lolly or something, so the dentists are pleased as well. And we give them that bag and they go home. And we get a lot of children booking in for eye exams following that. And that's wonderful. But we also do other groups. So we've done Women's Institute. We did the Young Wives of Snaith, and I went home and I said, Karen, I'm doing the Young Wives of Snaith, it's great. They want me to do it. And then they told me Young Wives in 1950. And they were all 70 and 80 years of age. But it was still great. We're doing Rotary and Lions, but in a different way. And when we do the Young Wives and we do the Women's Institute, we go along. And I always used to go along and I used to do, this is what we do in an eye examination. This is all about Yorkshire eyewear. This is about fashion. This is about eye diseases. This is about how to look after your eyes. And then you'd have the questions, and you'd get the cataract and the macular degeneration and the glaucoma questions. And then you'd stay and you'd have a cup of tea and you'd talk to 1 or 2 of them and you'd hear them go, well, my optician does that. I go to my optician and they do all of that. Don't know why I'm going there. And they're missing the point. They're missing the point that I'm independent, that I'm unique, that we do things differently. And we've got an OCT and we talk about that, but their optician always did that. And I know for a fact that they didn't, because I'm the only one in the area that's got an OCT. But their optician did it. And I thought, we need to change this. We need to keep doing these talks, keep doing these presentations, but we now need to find a different angle. So we thought about it and we decided that we were going to do something a little bit different. And we decided that we were going to do makeup and glasses. And we were going to show how makeup can enhance your glasses. And so what we did was we went out and we looked at lots of different makeup companies and lots of different products that were available. And we wanted more than just makeup. We wanted something that involved maybe some other products. And we settled on a company called Arbonne. Now, Arbonne is a range of products that are safe, pure and beneficial. They're vegan approved. And the great thing is you don't have to stock any of them. So you're not carrying lots and lots of stock which could go out of date. They also do, on top of the makeup, they do skincare, and they also do nutritional and sports nutritional products. So it fitted into what we were trying to promote, which is healthy eyes and healthy look. And what we then did was we started doing makeup and glasses. And we started inviting people to makeup evenings. And we started talking about nutritional products as well. And of course, on the back of that, not only were we selling glasses, but we were selling makeup. So, not that I sell it, of course. Makeup evening, we invited some ladies down to one of our practices. They came along. We said, don't wear any makeup or be prepared to take it off. Let us take lots of pictures. They all then were shown how to wear makeup. And Karen has spent a lot of time attending courses over the last year learning how to do makeup. All right? Now, I always thought that makeup was makeup because I'm a man. But it's amazing actually how many of the women commented about the fact that they never thought about doing it the way they'd been shown. And we did makeup and glasses because we then asked them to wear glasses and we took pictures. On the back of that evening, in fact, on that very evening, we sold 4 pairs of sunglasses because they were there. But we didn't once try and sell a pair of sunglasses. We didn't actually put a pair of sunglasses on anybody. They took them off the shelves and tried them on. We also sold a load of makeup. When it becomes really powerful is the fact that those ladies now come back to the practice to replenish and buy their makeup. So they're coming in on a regular basis. Now, none of them wear glasses. None of them were patients. There were people that we knew, or the people who knew, we knew them and they knew somebody else. So they were just people that we knew, but they're not patients. They are now, and they now come regularly to the practice. This was when we did the Women's Institute back in July. And we asked for a volunteer and we took her makeup off. And then Karen applied the makeup. And she was amazed. Now, she's not 21, but she said she'd never seen herself made up in that way. And I'm sure the ladies will appreciate this more than the men, but it's just having something slightly different which you can get involved in and that you can promote. And she was amazed. And then what we did was we asked her, she wore a pair of rimless glasses. That's what she was wearing. So Karen decided, let's show you what different looks can be. And so what we did was we put different pairs of glasses on her so that she could then see the different pairs of glasses and how it changed her look. And of course, we use these on our Facebook page, on our Twitter, with her permission. So what we've done is we've gone out there and we've tried to promote the brand, but we've tried to do it slightly differently rather than just the traditional optician's talk that's there. So in summary, involve the whole team in your marketing because the whole team will be able to promote your business. Get out of the practice and meet other local traders and other businesses. It really does work. Use social media, but most importantly, learn how to use it. SiteCare do courses. Your local councils through the business development will also do courses, and they're free. When you do use social media, don't just leave it to one person. It's too much, in my opinion, for one person to do all your social media. You need 2 or 3 of you. How you split that up's up to you, but you need 2 or 3 of you to do social media because it's too much for one. Ask SiteCare for help. That's what we're here for. That's what SiteCare does. It helps business development and marketing. And finally, if you embrace the marketing, not only will it promote your business, but it will make you more profitable. Thank you.